What's going on, guys? Wanted to make this video here to get you guys up to speed with the build with this here. And I haven't done a great job recording everything that I've done to this car so far, so I just wanted to make this video to get you guys up to speed. Yeah, let's get started. All right, so let's start with the engine. This engine here came out of a 2005 Silverado, straight from the junkyard. I mean, I literally picked it up from the floor and dropped it in here. I didn't touch the engine at all. I opened up the valve covers to clean them out and paint them, but that's about it engine wise. Literally straight from the floor on the junkyard, slapped it in here. This intake here is from Camaro, I believe. I bought it off a guy on Facebook. I'm not sure what it came out of exactly. The headers are some stock, some just generic eBay turbo headers. The intake is from a Yukon. I think it's a 98 Yukon, I think. The water pump is from a Cadillac CTSV. The oil pan is from, I'll lift the car up and show you guys, but it's from Jags. It's a Moroso clone. It has the ports for the remote oil filter. It's a front sump oil pan there. Radiator is for the 240, but I had to fabricate some brackets here. The very first thing I did with this car is gut it. I gut the entire thing. I took all the cables out, everything. I left some of the wiring for the doors because it has the electric windows, so I want to keep that function. We're gonna wire up some switches to that, but other than that, everything came out. All the entire wiring loom for the entire car came out. The next thing I did was getting the actual engine in and making sure everything fit. I got some cheap eBay motor mounts, and I fabricated these plates here to extend it up about 1.5 inches so that the pan doesn't hit the cross member down here. This is a Jags oil pan, front sump oil pan. Then I cut down here for the transmission tunnel. I cut a huge hole up here so that the transmission doesn't hit the transmission tunnel. Right there you can see all the way up into the car. I'll show you from up top. After I got the motor in, and this is the original, the stock transmission mount or cross member here. After that, all I had to do was just measure from the face of the seal against the transmission and the flange here for the differential. Measure that out and take those dimensions to my local fabricator, drive shaft fabricator. Got this drive shaft made. The next step after putting the engine into the car and making sure all that fit and it was secure and all that, the next step was wiring it up. So this is my mess of wires that goes out into the engine bay. A lot of these wires are not going to be used. All this here is going to be gone pretty much. This is all going to be gone. You can see where I cut the transmission tunnel there to make clearance for the transmission there and back here. I will be fabricating, just welding pieces of sheet metal down here. Help seal that up. After wiring up the car, the engine, the next step was to actually drive it. So we mounted up the seat. We just fabricated a small bracket down there because the floor is uneven down there because of the catalytic converter hump. If you know anything about these 240s, you know there's a huge hump down there. That's where the exhaust goes around the transmission. So there's a huge hump there from factory. So I just cut that out and welded a new sheet of metal down here. I'll show you a better angle now. So right here is where the catalytic converter would be. The hump for the catalytic converter would be right there. So I just cut that out and welded a new sheet of some sheet metal there. And I cut out the original cross member here. So we'll have to fabricate something a little bit over here, a little bit more forward to clear for the seat and to help it stabilize a little bit more there. Regain some of that strength from cutting all that out. So after installing the seat and test driving it a little bit here at the shop, the next step was to start fabricating the roll cage so we can strap the harness onto it and take it to the track. We also did this quick and dirty fuel system here. Just a standard square 5-gallon fuel cell coming out into a pre-filter here, a Holley pre-filter. That goes into an AEM 400 liter fuel pump, and that goes into another filter and regulator, also by Holley. And that the return line goes back into the fuel cell, and about 60 psi of fuel go out under the passenger seat through the firewall into the engine bay. So after taking it to the track and just testing it out on the track, I just started, and I knew I wasn't gonna take it out anymore until next season. I just started messing around with the steering a little bit. I extended the lower control arms about 1 inch. Here I extended the lower control arm about 1 inch and installed some GK Tech ball joint tie rod with some Megan Racing heavy duty inner tie rod. Here's a better look at the Megan Racing inner tie rod and the GK Tech Heim joint tie rod end. I'm running the stock rack and pinion. Here's the other side. Here's a few clips of the tube front. First I boxed in the frame rail, then I added a plate up on the strut tower. There it is. And then I started bending the tube and welded it in. After that we did the 5-lug conversion on the car. There it is.
There's a full video down in the description if you're interested in that. And here's a little clip of the one and only time this car has ever been to the track.